Yeah, we're feeling good because we're kind of inching our way to the new year, aren't we, Eric Stromer?
Yeah, it's going to be real fun this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but something. I'm going to stay up till exactly 9:15 and then pass out. I have a feeling.
And then watch the rerun of
the ball
Square.
dropping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Eric Stromer, and I'm Cindy Dole, and you're listening to Home Wizards, where we love to help you with all things home. And that just might mean your checklist to get now your life in order, because we've done Christmas. We've done all this past year, and we're getting ready for the new one. And you probably have the stuff because you've opened up these presents, you've entertained, there's clutter everywhere.
And see, this is where people don't realize that this is a place where we can sort of now deconstruct what we built, but we can take an opportunity to make it organized so that we can find it all again next Christmas.
Very well said.
Very, very simply and from an organizational standpoint. So I think it makes a huge difference to really think about doing it now. And the pressure's off. You could take a couple of days to do this. It doesn't all have to happen in one shot.
I love it.
You know?
So let's start with our after Christmas checklist, because now it's going to help you get your home in order, your life ready for New Year's Eve. Some things that are obvious, but maybe a few other things that are less obvious, like starting with point number 1, getting your extra kitchen stuff put away.
Sure, and that probably is going to mean your beaters and your mixers and your Cuisinarts and all the rolling pins and cookie making things and all that stuff can be conveniently stored somewhere. Maybe not even in the main kitchen. Maybe this would be the opportunity to take it away from the kitchen where you usually cram it in the back and there's less room for your day-to-day stuff. Maybe it can go in a seasonal storage either in your attic or your basement or somewhere else.
Pantry, wherever.
Whatever.
Love it.
And give yourself an opportunity to have more space for the rest of the year.
Now, didn't you get a couple of extra cylinders for the holiday cooking where the wooden spoons?
I did.
I
got on-counter, ceramic storage, where you literally like a pencil holder, but for spatulas and all the other stuff
rolling
that clogs
pin,
up the drawer, right?
The cookie stuff.
And I like the look of it. It looks like a functional cook's kitchen.
So will you keep
I don't
that
mind
out?
seeing that. Yeah.
You'll keep that there?
Yeah, but I'll take the stuff I'm not going to use until next Christmas.
Like the gingerbread man.
Yeah, like the outline of the gingerbread guy and the angel cookie stuff.
Yeah, the cookie cutter guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, and maybe you made some, seasonal soups and things like that. You can put some of those away, get rid of the holiday themed colors. Let's say, like I had this, snowman trivet, and I had a holiday little carpet right beneath the sink counter. So you can kind of put those things away so that now you're getting ready for the fresh new you.
Right. And take a moment to kind of survey what you have, and before you rush out to the container store or the organizing, place, and just randomly buy a bunch of containers, kind of size up what you have and how it could most effectively and efficiently be stored. You know what I mean?
And maybe downsize.
Yeah, and downsize. I think a lot of times, you get, I know I've done this in the past, you go to the container store and you go, oh my God, look at all this stuff. There's plastic clear things. And you buy 500 things, you get them home, and then now you're trying to, wrangle the storage solutions and make those organized, and it just turns into a nightmare. It's too much. So you may want to think about really thinking, about this, and we're going to take you through that now.
Well, yeah, and so last year, my husband and I, we downsized some of the Christmas ornaments that we just couldn't possibly use, that were just sitting there, and they weren't as special and meaningful. So now we just have the ones that truly are meaningful and that are great and in good condition, and Bill did a great job of loading up this tub with all of these clear shoe boxes, and it was like perfectly stacked so that we now have 6 boxes of shoebox size of our main ornaments, and then Christmas.
That's the first string or varsity ornaments.
Yes.
And then there are the JV ornaments that are second tier.
And the Christmas tree lights are also bundled in this box. So it's like one-stop shop, box 1, the tree. And so we thought, well, let's take a picture of it before we unload it so we can make sure we reload
that's
this
a great
crate.
idea.
And it was so satisfying to be able to go, it's all there.
Yeah. And this is a good opportunity to talk about how to wind Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah, tell us yours.
Don't put them in a ball. Get a piece of cardboard from some of the presents or boxes that you receive for the holidays. Give yourself a 12 by 12 inch panel of cardboard, and then, notch one end of it so that, you can put the plug aspect in that little slit, and then just wind around that 12 by 12 container, that piece of cardboard, and then you can stack them on top of each other inside of a box, and then they're easy to unwind and wind up again.
Very, very good. Yeah. So this is the checklist. So step 1, you're going to make, your kitchen kind of cleaned up, no more Christmas stuff, kind of getting staged for putting your decorations and tree away. Also a good time for the checklist to include, you have those photos of you where Marilyn was a guest, your mother-in-law.
Yeah, there's 30,
might be time
30
to take
pictures.
Take those photos, maybe all but one.
I may sick them on somebody else that comes to stay.
So, but, before you start putting things back in storage, in the guest rooms or changing the sheets, do a quick sweep of all the nooks and crannies to make sure your guests didn't leave anything behind, and maybe get an assessment. Like we had a company come over for, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and they're saying, that pull-out bed really wasn't very comfy. I could feel it's a hideaway bed.
Oh, wait a minute. This wouldn't happen to be...
Yes. The hideaway bed wasn't comfy because you could feel it's a couch that turns into a bed, and there's like a metal thing under there. And it was like the Princess and the Pea. I actually got 2 layers of foam things to cover it, but it still wasn't comfy. So now we're going to get for next time an added piece of a 3rd layer of foam, but get some feedback. You know. Yeah.
The good news is this is probably why he didn't stay quite so many days. So, he has his own home now.
Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, so... Yeah. And give away the extra sweets, by the way, because I'm sure you're going to be having some kind of a resolution.
That reminds me of Halloween. I still have 500 bags of candy from
You can freeze.
then.
You can freeze some of that. You can freeze some of those.
Yeah, but then I can't put stuff in the freezer because there's chocolate.
Well,
I don't know.
So send the cookies and the cakes and the brownies off to school with your kids, or leave them at the office. Let them, out of
give
calories.
Them away. Give them away now.
Put them in pretty packaging.
Make those people.
Or by the way, you can also send them to our troops.
That's actually a nice idea. I don't know if you can do open stuff, though, can you?
Like an open, like a tin?
Like an old ratty piece of toffee that was made.
Oh, no. But you might have like a nice tin.
Something in a... Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Add this to your calendar, the final return dates, because, New Year's returning maybe kids' clothes and toys and stuff.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That may even be something we should have talked about during the opening of presents process, because we always discuss, how do we get little screwdrivers and batteries and all those things to assemble and disassemble toys and all that good business. But at the same time, you should probably be recording on some kind of a list when they're supposed to be returned by. We'll get that next year.
But it's still never too late to try it now. Make a note of the final return date, put it on your calendar, and you can add alarms or reminders in your phone. Because wouldn't that be terrible if, like, let's say, you
got the world's worst Christmas sweater and you couldn't return
it. You missed it. Or maybe you get a store credit.
Yeah.
But some stores have different policies,
Yeah, they do.
Organize your leftover food. You probably have that taken care of, Make sure that whatever is going to be freezable, that certain things like, certain meats you might be able to freeze. You can't freeze things forever, but certain sauces and things might last, like stuffings and sauces might last for a month or two, and meats a few weeks. And this is also a good time to make a plan for January, not only your personal goals, but your home goals, like things that you dream of for your home and garden.
Right. New Year's resolutions are going to start kicking in here in any moment.
I know.
It's just about time.
I know.
So we can kind of ramp up to what are we going to do next year.
Yeah. So as we're getting ready to put more of the holiday stuff together, remember that this is a good time to be thinking of your clutter down philosophy. And I know with you doing a lot of these clutter-free TV shows, it's all about, if you got something as a gift.
Yeah.
Get one, toss 2. Because now after we've received all these great new things for your home, it's going to start to feel like you've got a lot of little tchotchkes.
Sure.
A lot of things sitting around.
And, and also don't forget in terms of, maintenance around the home a little bit, just like fire alarms, the batteries, the fireplace has been in use a whole lot. You may want to do one clean out of the fireplace just to make sure there's nothing flammable, because we still have a couple more months of good hearty fires happening. And, you might get a little complacent in all this incredibly busy time. So just take a quick look at all that stuff, too.
Good idea. Yep. And as you are putting away your holiday gifts, let's say that you received a couple of ugly Christmas sweaters.
No.
You might have.
I did.
And that's very trendy because, I should say having that ugly Christmas sweater party is very popular.
It's an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, and so you might want to, if you got a new one, keep that one, but maybe downsize and get rid of one or two of the others, because I know you have at least 4 ugly Christmas sweaters.
I have, in several different sizes now, depending on where my weight is at the time.
Well, it's always in the thin. You're thin, thinner, and thinnest, probably.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
Yeah. And you might even be thinking that you might have received some Christmas movies, some Christmas DVDs. And
as a matter of fact, I did.
Okay, so as you receive the new ones, there might be a couple older titles that you can part with and maybe donate.
Not getting rid of Elf.
I know, it's
Gotta
a favorite.
Keep Elf.
I know.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
For Rudolph, you got to have
Love
that
Rudolph,
one.
the old one with Burl Ives.
Oh, silver and gold. Anyway, we have some more.
Silver and gold.
We have some more things to do to get ready to clean up your home as we are inching our way to New Year's, because this is the time to kind of declutter after the holidays. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards. Okay, I've seen air guitar, but now you should see Eric playing
air flute.
Air flute.
That's right.
Very.
I saw those guys, Jethro Tull, back in '76 in Evanston, Illinois, at Northwestern University. The guy was in a puffy sleeve shirt, standing on one leg, playing the flute.
Oh my gosh!
Come on,
really good song.
How could it be better? That record would never be made today.
I know, it's
That's
good
what's
stuff.
so cool about the old music, I think.
Well, Eric Stromer knows his music as well as home improvement stuff.
Heck yeah.
And I'm Cindy Dole, and you're listening to Home Wizards, and we're helping you get ready in terms of improving your home and your life with the new year. And so we're kind of getting the clutter of Christmas kind of downsized. And you probably have mailing boxes piled up because you got some gifts from relatives in different parts of the country or the world, let's say. And you kind of stash them maybe in the garage or they're somewhere else. Yes, you could recycle and reuse them, but for maximum end of your clutter cutting, you can take the Holiday Mailing Box Challenge.
Ooh, what is this?
So what this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because this takes it to the next level. Now you're not only getting rid of the box. You're going to use this as an incentive to get rid of stuff, as in clutter. So your goal is to fill every seasonal mailing box that has come into that front door of yours with suitable things for donation to the Goodwill
or
Salvation Army.
That's
and
great.
so that is your challenge. Every box, a small one, a big one. Don't throw it away. That is going to be your donation box, because now there's no excuses. You just use that box.
You're
you
swapping
walk
out
through the house.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Don't you love that?
I do. And you may even find that the new presents you're going to just take right square to the donation
exactly.
place. It may not work for you. Why keep it on the shelf?
Well, just certain things, you never know.
I don't need a clip-on tie.
But maybe, just maybe, you have some things around your house like books, although it's hard for my husband to part with books. A lot of us can't part with books because somehow we think that we are giving up knowledge.
Yeah, I understand that.
And you aren't.
Same with my daughter and toys. I have to sneak toys into my truck and drive away with them.
It's sad, it is. But you can take pictures of the book. You know, there's libraries that'll love the books, but think of it, the VHS tapes you might have sitting around in a drawer somewhere.
You don't need the Super 8s anymore.
Or crap
Those are gone.
Really?
Yeah, they're gone.
You know, all those things you can now put in this holiday mailing box or boxes that you have and take them right from your cupboard to the donation.
Good
Done.
idea.
I love that. I
That's
haven't
really
done that,
something.
and I'm going to do it. Here's another really good one. It's called usuji. I've never heard of this before, but this is part of a Japanese New Year tradition, and it's all about clearing dirt and disorganization. And this is actually a holiday in Japan. And so to observe it, Japanese homes receive a top-to-bottom cleaning. Business offices, they're sorted and organized. Children clean out their school desks. It's kind of like part of the culture, removing the dirt from the old year.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to my friend Shinami about this.
And she might tell you more about it.
Give me some real background on this.
So it's going to not only clean your state of mind to welcome the new year, but As the word and the belief goes, it invites prosperity for the new year to come.
Great.
You're getting rid of the junk, and you're opening it up for the new good.
Symbolic, and you're really doing it.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Wow.
I know. You can also, as the new year is about to arrive, a lot of us take down our decorations and store them, for the next year. But too often, there's a sense just to kind of like sling it in there and worry about it later. But remember, putting away your Christmas ornaments and holiday linens and outdoor lights, in a very clear-cut way is going to, it's going to take away the headache for next year.
And they sell these storage boxes for ornaments, don't they?
They do. They're all
right?
pre-cut.
They're pre-cut, almost like what you would put light bulbs in.
Yeah.
And then you can stack them, label them, because I find I have a lot of stuff in old just traditional boxes and they roll around in there. And again, they're not organized.
No
and they can
dividers.
break. There's no dividers. I think the dividers are critical.
Dividers are very helpful, and you can even try, especially if you have some delicate Christmas ornaments, you can purchase the divided tray ornament container. Some of them even have like little felt squares to put the delicate ornaments in there. You know what I mean?
There are really kind of fragile ones that should probably have that lining in them.
Yeah.
Right?
And you can also store ornaments in their original box, with some tissue paper or even shoe boxes. That works well. But the key is to not have them rattling around. This past Christmas, my husband was just carrying a box, of ornaments in, and he accidentally bumped his elbow on the door, and just that was enough to jog, and we broke 3 delicate ornaments. It was, it did well the whole year, sitting in the garage. And then you got those 3, and then you look at them, hey, what?
Yeah.
So this is the time to kind of.
So he got a piece of coal for Christmas.
No. But it's just you're running around. It's heavy box, but if you do have that little felt and the tissue, it's an added cushion. Label your Christmas decorations, all this stuff. If you do it now, grouping certain kinds together, in terms of the candles and that glass cloche that we hope you've been using, and all those things. If you have them in clear containers, that's going to save you for next year.
Sure.
But now, more things to get the clutter away. Send white elephants on their way.
Okay, now what do you mean by that?
Okay, so it is the thought that counts. But when those thoughts leave you going, okay, really? Like it was one of those holiday Santa exchanges, and you really are not loving whatever this gift is. Before they become clutter in the new year, try these strategies to sort out what's known as white elephant gifts.
Okay.
You might want to consider regifting these in a gift closet. Now, do you have a gift closet?
Come to think of it, I do have a little bit of that. I have some. Whenever I get champagne, I don't like champagne, so I'll always save it, but then pass it along to some.
That's lovely.
Person that does enjoy it.
That's great,
right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Not even a mimosa.
That's called white. That's called white elephant booze.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly great.
No, because if I do the mimosa in the afternoon, I'm out.
You're sleeping.
I'm done. So I can't do that.
Well, so let's say if you had that bountiful gift basket that included a lovely cheese board and a dipping bowl, and you have already a cheese board and a dipping bowl, keep the snacks, but set the unneeded items in the gift closet.
Set them free.
And now this can be part of a gift basket that you make for somebody else.
Save some money next year.
Right? Or you can hold an after Christmas white elephant exchange. A lot of people invite friends for dinner on January 1st or even the Super Bowl and ask everyone to bring a wrapped, unwanted white elephant gift for a post-Christmas gift exchange.
That's kind of great.
Isn't that kind of fun and silly? And now you can clear clutter and bring new life into the white elephant gifts.
And there really is something about getting rid of things in your home that it brings in abundance, I feel. The Japanese tradition you were talking about.
Isn't that
I think
neat?
it does make a huge difference just symbolically to lose some stuff out of the house, make room for new.
Now, if you have some unneeded books, you can also, by the way, swap them online. Websites like Paperback Swap and something called Book Mooch. These are ways where you can go and feel like you're giving that book that you hate to get rid of a whole new home.
Great.
And new life.
Yeah.
And now to those toys that Willow doesn't want to part with.
It's so hard.
It's very hard because, think of it. Do you have a couple of your toys that you've saved since childhood? I have my teddy
because
bear.
my brother sold everything in a garage sale when I went to college.
Meanie. I know. Well, both my husband and I have our classic teddy bears from childhood. But with the exception of that, I have very few toys that I've saved. But you can set up a toy library to remove excess toys to a quote-unquote loaner status. And what that means is, you can push out of the limelight the new Christmas toys. The toy library now will seem new and exciting if they're given a rest for a few months. So see what I'm saying?
Oh, that's interesting.
So the toy library is off to the side while the kids are loving the brand new toys. But then a few months from now, you bring the stuff from the toy library in, and it's almost like Christmas all over again.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, like, construction sets and dollhouses.
The thing that bugs me the most are the big plastic toys that, they no longer function or they just take up so much room in a shelf and, get them out.
I know.
And it's like Sophie's Choice every morning for me when I look at my daughter and I'm like, hi, and I look over there, and then I grab something and I try and throw it in the back of the truck. And then I'll be doggone if she doesn't sit as I'm driving her to school, look in the back bed of the truck.
Find it.
She sees it, freaks out.
Oh, she freaks out.
Freaks out.
Does she go and get it?
She's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How can you do this to me?
I know.
Sophie's choice.
Well, so also what you can do in terms of getting ready for your declutter whole new year is to plan ahead for storage space. Do you need a place to store holiday decorations? Now is the time to consider new storage options for your garage.
Well, this could be, the garage.
New
above,
shelving.
Maybe above in the rafters.
Yeah.
Stuff that you never, a found area that you'd never think about putting things. Sometimes people store 2x4s and pipes and stuff up on top. You put a piece of plywood up between two joists coming across.
Smart.
Now you got a flat storage purchase for all the Christmas stuff.
So whether it's new shelving and cupboards and organizing bins, I mean, talk about an incentive to really, not just for the Christmas season, but anytime you have more storage.
To make that garage efficient, and you will be blown away how effective it is.
Don't you feel at peace?
I feel like I've purged. Now I'm actually hungry.
Okay. Well, because you're hungry, we're going to talk about something that's going to whet the appetite. I know you love Marsala. And get to know Marsala because, wait to hear what it has to do with your life in 2015. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards.
You always say